Assalamu alaikum students. How are you grade 8th? I hope you are doing well at your homes. I'm your online teacher for biology. Students, we are going to start our lecture number 10. In our previous lectures, we have learned about the level of organizations and we have studied its first two levels in our previous two lectures. One is subatomic and atomic level, in which we have learned about the subatomic particles are basic particles that are present in an atom, and that particles are electrons, protons or neutrons. Then we have studied about second level of organization, that is molecular level, which is formed by the combination of two or more atoms. Smaller molecules are called micromolecules and the larger molecules are called macromolecules. And now we will move towards a step ahead of level of organization, that is organelle and cell level. So basically the students, it is higher level than molecular level. So the students, what are organelles? Organelles are basically the smaller components are the parts that are present inside a cell. Just like the body of an animal, in which different organs such as heart, stomach, liver, kidneys are present, and they can make the body of an organism. Just like that, a cell is formed by the combination of different type of organelles. So students, you have cleared that what are organelles. Organelles are basically the smallest particles that are present inside the cells, and that organelles are formed by the combination of biomolecules. Okay students, what are biomolecules? You know that bio means life, and the molecules that are present in living organisms are called biomolecules. Recall from the previous lecture, I have told you that there are 92 different kind of elements, out of which 16 are bioelements. And biomolecules are basically formed by the combination of different bioelements. So students, biomolecules assemble mean organize in a particular way and form organelles. So students, clear है? Biomolecules बेसिकली असेंबल हो जाते हैं पर्टिकुलर वे में और वो ऑर्गेनेल्स बनाते हैं. द ऑर्गेनेल्स आर एक्चुअली सब सेलुलर स्ट्रक्चर. सब सेलुलर मीन्स जो सेल के इनसाइड प्रेजेंट होंगे उसको हम ऑर्गेनेल्स कहते हैं. एंड व्हेन दे असेंबल टुगेदर, और जब वो असेंबल हो जाएंगी, यूनिट्स ऑफ लाइफ दैट इज सेल आर फॉर्म्ड. सो स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ क्लियर दैट organelles are basically the subcellular structures and they organize or assemble together to form a cell, and that is the unit of life. So students, what is the unit of life? Cells are the basic unit of life of all the living organisms. Either it is a microorganism, bacteria, either it is a plant, either it is an animal or human. All living organisms are made up of a single unit of life that is called cell. Now students, now we have further discussion about the organelle. Each type of organelle is specialized to form a specific function. So students, cell में number of organelles होती हैं, that we have studied further in this book in chapter number 4, and that organelles are combined to form a cell, but each organelle have a specific function. Okay students, just like the body of an organisms, you can imagine the body of humans. We have different organs in our body. We have heart in our body, brain, stomach, kidneys. But these structures, all of these structures perform different functions. The function of heart is to supply the blood to all parts of the body. What is the function of stomach? It digests the food. Okay students, तो हमारी बॉडी में जितने organs हैं वो different functions perform करते हैं. Similarly, all the organelles in a cell perform different functions. They have independent functions. They do not depend on the other for their functions. For example, mitochondria. Mitochondria is the name of an organelle which is specialized for cellular respiration. Cellular respiration basically बेटे क्या process है in which the bonds present in the food, that is carbon and hydrogen, are broken down and energy is released in the form of ATP, and that energy is supplied to the body for performing different activities. And ribosomes are specialized for protein synthesis. So students, here we have studied about the functions of two organelles, and these functions are also included in your assignment. One is mitochondria, that is specialized for cellular respiration, and the other one is ribosome, that is specialized for protein synthesis. In this way, functions of the cell are accomplished. Accomplished mean complete होना by these specialized structures. तो cell का जो function है वो ये सब specialized structures मिल के उसको complete कर देते हैं. It is an example of the division of labor within the cell. Division of labor का क्या मतलब है कि हम different काम्स जो हैं वो divide कर दें different parts में. For example, हम अपने क्लास में आपके different students हैं, हम उस डिफरेंट स्टूडेंट्स में काम को डिवाइड कर दें. हम स्टूडेंट्स का ग्रुप्स बना लें. 4 or 5 स्टूडेंट्स आर इंक्लूडेड इन वन ग्रुप एंड वी कैन आस्क देम टू परफॉर्म डिफरेंट टास्क related to your class. That is called the division of labor. So students, you can understand that what is division of labor. Division of labor is the division of the work between different organisms. In the case of prokaryotes and most protists, the entire organisms consist of a single cell. Okay students, जब हम microorganisms की बात करते हैं, prokaryotes हैं, protists हैं. अब बेटे यहाँ पे difference आता है prokaryotes में और eukaryotes में. What is the difference between them? Prokaryotes are simple cells. Their nucleus is not enclosed by a membrane, just like the cell of bacteria. But a eukaryotic cells, all multicellular organisms have eukaryotic cells, and some higher protists also have eukaryotic cells. In eukaryotic cells, a nucleus is bounded by a double membrane, and all the organelles that are present in eukaryotic cells are highly organized and complex as compared to the prokaryotic cells. So students, in case of prokaryotes and most protists, all organisms consist of just one cell. But when we talk about fungi, animals and plants, then the organisms consist of up to trillions of cells. Okay students, अगर हम animal और plant body को consider करें तो उसमें trillions of cell present हैं. That we can also call that it is a multicellular body. So the students, now the level of organization, that is organelle and cell level, it is now clear. Organelle is basically subcellular structures that are present in the cell. Now we will move towards our fourth level of organization, that is tissue level. Now the students, what is tissues? Similar cells are organized into a structure or into a group that is called tissue level, and they can perform a specific function. First of all, you have to learn the definition of tissue. In multicellular organisms, similar cells performing similar functions. Similar cells से क्या हम यहाँ पे कह सकते हैं that are performing similar functions are organized into a group and that group is called tissue. So students, we can define a tissue as a group of similar cells specialized for the performance of a common function. हम टिश्यू को कैसे डिफाइन कर सकते हैं? That it is a group of similar cells. Similar cells means these cells perform the same functions, then they can organize into a group and then they perform a common function and it is called a tissue. Each cell in a tissue carries on its own life processes. अब उस टिश्यू में जितने भी सेल होंगे, for example, a tissue is made up of 10 cells. A tissue is made up of 20 cells or 100 cells. So students, whatever the number of the cells, each cell in a tissue carries on its own life processes. Each cell in a tissue perform its own functions and that functions like cellular respiration and protein synthesis. But it also carries on some special processes related to the function of the tissue. Now students, clear that each cell perform its own life processes, but they can also perform the function of the tissue to which they relate. Okay students, now the definition of tissue is clear. Similar cells means that are performing the same function or organized to form a special structure called tissue. Okay students, but each cell in a tissue perform its own cellular processes, but it also performs the function related to the tissue. Now students, we will see different examples of the tissues that are present in plants and in animals. Different types of plant tissues are epidermal tissues that are present on the upper layer of the leaf. Second one is ground tissue. These two tissues are the examples of plant tissues. And the nervous tissues that are present in our brain and are related to our nervous system. And muscular tissues that are related to our skeletal system are the example of animal tissues. So the students, now clear that plant tissues, the examples of plant tissues are epidermal and ground tissues, and the example of animal tissues are nervous tissue and muscular tissues. So the students, in our today's lecture we have studied about two levels of organization. One is organelle and cell level, and the second one is tissue level. You have to listen the lecture carefully so you can solve the questions that are present in your assignment. See you in the next lecture. Stay safe and sound. God bless you.